It is Friday, June 26th, 2019. It is 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and so you know what time it is. It's time for a little bit of coin metal. And it was very fun. Get your ass kicked at Jiu-Jitsu Friday, although I did not get my ass kicked all that much and did not hand out all that much ass kicking. It was more individual kind of thing, we did a lot of drilling in the beginning, and then we did do partner drills and stuff, but we were drilling just basic moves. Most of it was self-defense. The beginning was self-defense, and honestly, I kind of liked it. The grip on it was kind of interesting, where you, if you're pinned up against the wall, you reach up through your opponent's arms, or your aggressor's arms in this case, grab the outside of his hand, and then roll that bad boy inward. And if you do it right, you can get a good space between you and your aggressor that you can then utilize for a lot of things. You could go for like a drag. You could drag him by that arm down. You could shove him away and give yourself an opportunity to maybe kick him. Kick him in the balls, kick him in the shins, kick him, double leg takedown. Get the fucker away from you or whatever. I don't know, but so it was basic stuff for self-defense, the beginning of it, and then we did this really neat choke, and we were working on loop chokes, and I don't know, I enjoyed the class, but I would have much rather that we had just spent all our time doing the loop chokes, because the one thing that I did notice is that the warm-ups tied into the movement that we did later on, and so that was cool. It's like we're actually applying the loose muscles that we created here in this extensive warm-up. But like I said, I would have much rather have had 5-minute drill rounds with it, where I really had an opportunity to get in a lot of reps, and instead of the little bit of meandering we did, because the two aren't really specifically related, from a standing choke to a on the ground kind of gig. But yeah, I felt the chokes that we were working were very, very powerful, and things that might actually work their way into my game. I've been taking up more lapel chokes than anything, but like zipper chokes, a lapel choke, a baseball bat choke. I haven't been getting any baseball bat chokes in lately, but that's one to work on. I think that one's in my future where I'll sink that bad boy in. But anyway, so I'm all about the choking people with their lapels and shit. And so today's lesson on that was more like a single hand kind of choke. But there were additional pressure points that you put in there to kind of facilitate the choke. But the transitions are what I really liked, whereas one was if you have your opponent up on their side, like you're going to go for an arm bar. This is an alternate to the arm bar, and I really liked it. I think that I could probably get somebody with that on. That just seems like it's appropriate for both my taste. I like choking people, and as far as like a move to put people out or submit them or whatever, I like choking people. You can, don't judge me. But anyway, so it goes with my thing, and as far as the pressure of it, it felt like there was a really good flow to it, that I could quickly transition into something like that and lock somebody up before they even really knew what hit them, and that's always a challenge for me is surprising people with moves that I do, because I'm kind of a big guy, and I don't really move all that fast. I can be kind of quick now and then, and I'm pretty explosive and whatnot, but I don't have a whole lot of speed. So for me, it was it's not something that's really speed dependent, but the setup can give it away. There were a couple of the variations on it where the setup for it seemed like it could it could be a little suspect. Your opponent might actually think, hey, oh shit, this guy's going to go for some sort of collar choke on me. I better watch my shit. And so I'll have to work more on my stealth. But I saw a couple of them that, a couple of the variations that I can really see getting into my toolbox and being used out on the mat. And so as far as what we're going to get into today, otherwise, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's going to have something to do with Craig Wright's continued trial, as there seems to have been a great deal of material issued forth, and beyond that, I'm not sure where we're going to go. But I do know that we are going to start this off with a song just for him, and I guess this was on, maybe it was Peter McCormick. He was doing some air guitar of this, and so I pledged that I would play it for the first dance today, and so here it is, Metallica, For Whom the Bell Tolls, First Dance, here on Coin Metal. And that was Prong with Carved into Stone. Yeah, that was like the first of 3 albums that just like came out in this year after year after year. He came out with another album, and I don't know. It's left some of us with expectations that just simply cannot be met. I'm sure he'll get back to actually making more prong music sometime in the near future, but we'll see, right? Anyway, so as promised, I wanted to get into this Craig Wright business one more time because it's not quite finished yet, And I wanted to start off with this thread that I found on Twitter, and this is by Carolyn Bellotto. My apologies, ma'am. Craig Wright, the self-professed inventor of Bitcoin, is testifying today in a West Palm Beach federal courtroom about why he hasn't been able to produce the public addresses of the Bitcoin he's mined over the years. Next one is, he says he just can't get this information, and that public addresses wouldn't provide the plaintiff in this $10 billion suit against him with anything relevant. He choked up as he told how he wanted to create a cryptocurrency that did not fall to crime, but that he was unsuccessful. Others he worked with started Silk Road and Hydra, on which drugs, weapons, and child pornography are traded and sold. We're on a break now. Cross-examination will begin after lunch. Just a few minutes in across, and things are getting testy. Ira Kleiman's counsel is asking Wright about an email that Kleiman says Wright forged. Background on that. Let's get into that. No, I don't want to sign up for your fucking content. Suck a dick. That was on Law 360, so yeah, we're not getting into that. Anyway, Wright accused Kleiman's counsel of committing perjury by putting this document, which is a printout of a PDF of an email, before the court. Quote, "You're provably misleading the court," said Wright. Wright then tossed the document, which did not sit well with Judge Reinhardt. Quote, you throw another document in my courtroom and you will be in handcuffs so fast your head will spin. Judge Reinhardt. They combed through the metadata of the email, and Wright kept insisting it's not an email, it's a PDF. Wright says Kleiman's counsel is trying to mislead the court, but allegedly the forged email in question was provided by Wright's team. Wright says this document was sent by his staff, who were at the time trying to force his company into liquidation. Quote, "You want me to comment on a file from a server run by a person who was trying to force me into liquidation so they could sell my intellectual property." Now we've moved on to the line of questioning about the trust in which Wright put his Bitcoin. Kleiman's counsel, Velvel Friedman, quote, A company you didn't buy until 2014 is listed as a beneficiary of a trust you claim to have created in 2012. Wright, quote, you have to put forth documents I don't recognize. Freeman, documents you produced into discovery. This is a reoccurring theme. Wright says he doesn't recognize several documents, and Kleiman's counsel... Oh, shit, where did it go? There we go. Kleiman's counsel points out that his side is the one that produced them. So Wright has explained that he needs at least 8 of 15 key slices in the right order to access the bitcoins in his trust. Bear with me here on the technical stuff. I'm a legal reporter, but definitely not a cryptocurrency expert. Carolina, none of us are. We some of us just know a little bit more than others. Friedman, quote, who holds the 15 key slices? Wright, I hold some. I don't know off the top of my head. Freeman, who else holds them? Wright, I haven't looked into the file. No one asked me to look at the file. Friedman then pointed out that he'd been asked to produce the public addresses. Didn't he think to try and track down who holds the keys? So the judge took over questioning here. Wright explained that he gave some keys to Dave Kleiman, and directed him to give them to bonded couriers. Some of the keys won't be made available until 2020. Judge, so since 2016, you have known that you didn't have access to these files and wouldn't have access until 2020, and you knew that this in February of 2019 and March 2019. The judge didn't say anything more about this, but the clear implication was that he wouldn't have liked to hear about this before today. He would have liked to have heard about this before today. Kleiman's counsel is rested. We're on a break now before we go to redirect. This will definitely not be over today. They are trying to finish up with Wright, but have to come back another day for testimony from expert witnesses. Let's see here. Do we have any more? Let's see here. Somebody posted the white paper in this thread. That's interesting. Alright, so it seems like we've come to the end of that particular... Oh, wait. Now we've moved on to the line of questioning about the trust in which Wright put his Bitcoin. Kleiman's counsel, Velva Friedman, a company you didn't buy until blah blah blah. Wright, you have to put forward documents I don't recognize. We already read through that. Yeah, okay, so that seems to be the end of it. And a whole bunch of other people have contributed to it, but we're not going to go through all their shit. So yeah, it seems like Craig is trying to talk himself around in a circle here. You know, that information concerning the trust, I'm not a legal expert, but I would go so far as to suggest that it's probably something that they would have wanted to include initially. Because it's kind of obvious that people are going to ask, okay, where are the coins? Who's holding the coins? So indicating that they're in a trust would probably have helped a lot of people out here, you know? At least relieve the pressure from that to begin with. But anyway, I got another article here, and this one's on CoinDesk. Craig Wright spars with Kleiman lawyers in combative courtroom appearance. And this is by Daniel Kuhn. So yes, penis. And this is authored June 28th, 2019 at 22:30 UTC. Craig Wright appeared in federal court today to show cause why he had not certified facts pertaining to the list of Bitcoin holdings he acquired prior to December 31st, 2013. The plaintiff, Ira Kleiman, is suing on behalf of his late brother, David Kleiman, David Kleiman's estate. From 2009 to 2011, David Kleiman and Wright allegedly mined 1.1 million Bitcoin together, which Wright entrusted to the Tulip Trust. IRA is suing for half of the collective stockpile, which Wright is alleged is inaccessible due to a complicated encryption scheme. It should be noted the self-proclaimed Bitcoin creator has already been found in violation of the court's order, according to the plaintiff's representation on June 21st. Today's case was to determine the level of sanction due. It is unknown whether Wright will be penalized at all. Wright's morning deposition was closed to the public, but the court was open for the evidentiary hearing this afternoon. Reports of the trial have been coming through Twitter. On the stand, Wright again said Satoshi Nakamoto was a, quote, character he played when authoring and disseminating the Bitcoin white paper, published over an email thread for cryptographic hobbyists in 2009. Wright continued to say he is unfamiliar with what Bitcoin was developed into and refused to recognize the concept of a, quote, public address. Quote, that idea is taken from BitGold and eGold. Bitcoin is the opposite. Keys should not be reused for security, he said, reported PJM on Twitter, referring to Bitcoin predecessors. The timetable for his involvement in Bitcoin can be traced to his mining activity, which Wright asserted was suspended in August of 2010 when his vision of a currency untainted by criminal enterprise was subverted. Quote, I created Bitcoin to be the first digital cash system not connected to crime. Bullshit. The Silk Road was made for the sale of heroin, MDMA, fentanyl, weapons. Then a reputation system was developed for assassination markets and for terrorism, Wright said, according to PJM. That's also bullshit. Wright reportedly began to cry during this section of the hearing. He also crawled into his lawyer's arms after the testimony and bawled, said that crypto guy, while discussing the case over Twitter during a recess before Wright's cross-examination. Wright's emotional state allegedly carried into the cross-examination led by attorney Velville Friedman of Bolas Schiller Flexner. When he threw a print of an email Kleiman alleges Wright had forged to steal from the estate. Wright also accused the plaintiff's counsel of misleading the court, though the exhibit was allegedly provided by Wright's lawyers. This is a pattern Wright is reported to have repeated throughout the hearing. When asked about the evidence pertaining to the Tulip Trust submitted to the court, Wright allegedly replied, quote, you have to put forth documents I don't recognize. Oh, you have put forth documents I don't recognize, according to Carolina Bellato. Friedman again responded that these were documents Wright's counsel put it forward in discovery, who also raised the question, quote, a company you didn't buy until 2014 is listed as a beneficiary of a trust you claim to have created in 2012? He was referring to one of the companies Wright disclosed as a trustee in May. As the cross-examination continued, Wright also said he was unable to recall the key holders necessary to gain access to the Tulip Trust. Quote, I haven't looked at the file. No one asked me to look at the file, he said. Friedman asserted that the court had ordered that he produce the public addresses. Earlier, Wright testified that he gave Dave Kleiman physical control of the keys that were doubly encrypted. He also arranged two separate chains, a spending and holding chain, to follow all of the transactions involving the mined coins. Wright then said he instructed his business partner to hand over his keys to bonded couriers who would not be able to deliver the keys until 2020. Quote, so since 2016 you have known that you didn't have access to these files and wouldn't have access until 2020, and you knew this in February 2019 and March of 2019, Judge Bruce Reinhardt asked. And those are the two tweets that we covered by Carolina Bellato. On Wednesday, Wright filed an intention to call out 3 witnesses to testify on his behalf, as well as to personally take the stand as a factual witness. It is unconfirmed whether these men, Kevin Madure, Brett Roberson, and Steve Shaders, have appeared in court. Interesting. So yeah, I think that this whole thing is just a circle of lies. You know, that the Tulip Trust probably doesn't even exist. The beneficiaries or whatever, I think that, or not beneficiaries, but the holders of the keys, it seems so convoluted to me. You know, again, they would have presented the evidence for that, or for those assertions, along with their other materials during discovery. So I don't see how that. I really don't understand how he can go back and make these claims like this. It's very, very sad that it's gone this far, you know? I mean, usually a liar will get nailed on something, and that's just the end of it. It's like, okay, yeah, you caught me, you know, but not this guy. No, double down, lie, and that's just my opinion, though. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not privy to any of the evidence of the case, and it probably wouldn't help me in making a more accurate determination or a more true resolution in it. But like I said, I think that his pattern of behavior is one that leads me to believe that he's being deceptive. You know, the whole claim about Bitcoin being some criminality-free currency, that's a bunch of bullshit. It's just utter bullshit. You know, the whole what is criminal, what is not criminal, that's decided by the fucking market. And the market chose to use Silk Road. Now, of course, it didn't use it for fucking assassinations and all that other shit. But it did use it for drugs. And what he failed to point out in there is that it was actually a bit of harm reduction. You know, because it's a matter of reputation. I mean, if you put out a shit product, and let's just assume that you have people like voting up your shit, right? Even though it is shit. And maybe they're just a bunch of sock puppet accounts or something like that. The point being is that after a while it catches up. All you have to do is interact with one of the people that is outside of that loop, and the volume of negative reviews catches up to you. That's pretty much it. You know, but from a harm reduction standpoint, people were getting pure drugs. And in addition to that, there was a doctor on site. He was, I don't know about on site, but like he would answer people on message boards and shit like that with direct queries concerning substances. And that's not something you have in a lot of markets. You know, I think if the prescription drug market were evaluated in the same way that the Silk Road was, I think a lot of the overprescription and misprescription of drugs would end. Because people that know the actual effects of the drugs would be saying, no, you really don't want to be taking that in combination with this situation over here, because it'll lower your blood pressure too low, it'll lower your blood oxygen too low. You know, you don't want to do it that way. But I would suggest taking this drug instead of these two drugs, and that ought to do the thing that you need it to do and not do this other effect. And I think that kind of communication really is necessary in investment or in drugs, or how we're treating our body. This is why I'm for substances, PEDs, being allowed in MMA. I think the state commission, the athletic commissions, all those people just need to fuck off. A guy signs the waiver and says, I will fight regardless of the status of PEDs of my opponent. And that's it. All you should be concerned about from there on out is training hard enough to beat that motherfucker, even if he is jacked up on Mexican supplements. But more importantly, I want to know. I want to know that motherfucker was on drugs. Because, if he gets his ass kicked anyway, that's kind of a kick in the dick to use steroids. It's like, look, all the steroids in the world didn't fucking help you because this guy's strategy on the ground and skill on the ground is like 8 billion times better than you, and you let him get you to the ground. Because you were so cocksure about, my strength, I'm going to be able to pull through anything with my strength. No, the fucking skill gotcha. We see examples of that throughout, like the UFC, the early UFCs, where even guys that were all jacked up on steroids were getting their asses handed to themselves by Hoist Gracie. So, I want to know. And more importantly, I want to know the qualitative effects afterwards. Okay, so it's not a question, was the guy on EPO, was he on testosterone supplement therapy, or any of that other bullshit. That's not a question anymore. It's how long was he using it? What was his dosage? What were the short-term benefits, and what were the benefits in the ring? What was the long-term detriments? That's something we don't even get into. We don't even touch that until, they've done a brain scan of the guy after he's already dead. And, he died of a fucking aneurysm at 51 on a fucking treadmill, 8:30 in the morning. We find out about it then. Oh, yeah, he's been using, testosterone replacement therapy for the last 30 fucking years. I want to know, because then maybe we can talk about getting into like interventions or something. If the effect for them is already creating a bunch of problems, and you're just never privy to the fact that there's this thing that he's using that's possibly altering his neurochemistry to where, he's a little more attitudinal, he doesn't put up with people's shit as much, so on and so forth. We can find the keys there. And we can get into healthier sport that way. Because right now, it's abuse in the dark until you get caught. And I think that's far more dangerous than saying, I've been using, 15 cc's of some shit for, a month, and that was my on cycle, and then I went off for a month, and then I came back on again. And I did that for, 10 years, and then all of a sudden I started getting these welts, and my balls were shrinking, and it wasn't a good story. I want to know that shit. You might not necessarily want to disclose it, but if you do disclose it, and you're recording that information, because it's out in the open, it's not stashed away somewhere, we can look back on it and say, hey, you know what? Allowing these guys to go on this substance, it's clearly not very good. And we wouldn't even have to wait all that long. We wait like 5, maybe 10 years of a fighter's span in the ring. And you could see the qualitative and quantitative effects over the period of time that the person is using. You've got plenty of data to go on for their up cycle, their down cycle, what effects injuries had, so on and so forth. I think that, again, stashing that information in the background, it's a big disservice to the entire sport. Enough with that rant. Let's go ahead and throw back down into some music. And I got a little bit of Fear Factory going on in the background. It's sounding like somewhere we might want to go. But we haven't been playing lately, and I want to get into it because I love this band. It's one of the first bands that I really considered quote-unquote metal. And so here it is, Judas Priest, Electric Eye, here on Coin Metal. And that was Slayer with Live Undead. Man, I'll tell you what, they put on a fucking awesome concert. Say what you want about their age or whatever, but they still put on a really good fucking show. Anyway, more into this Craig business, because I like to diversify my sources, and this one is actually from Bloomberg. They've informed me that I'm on my third and last free article for, I guess, the week or some shit like that. I don't know. Anyway. Self-proclaimed Bitcoin inventor says fortune inaccessible. This is by Jonathan Levin and Olga Karif. So yes, penis, and no penis. And this is authored on June 28, 2019, 10:33 a.m. PDT. Craig Wright, the Australian scientist who claims he created Bitcoin, said at a federal court hearing in West Palm Beach, Florida, that he can't comply with a court order to produce a list of all his early Bitcoin addresses and may not even ever be able to access the coins. Wright is defending himself against charges that he stole Bitcoins and intellectual property worth billions from a late business partner. The case could potentially help shed light on whether he really is Satoshi Nakamoto, something many of the crypto community doubt. At times, choking back tears, Wright told the judge that he is Nakamoto, the pseudonym used by the cryptocurrency's creator in 2009, and that Dave Kleiman, whose estate is suing him, was tasked with covering up Wright's tracks so people wouldn't find out that he was Satoshi. Wright said that he decided to stop working on Bitcoin in 2010, the result of concern that the token was increasingly being used to trade drugs and child pornography. Quote, I brought in Dave because he was a friend and he knew who I was, and he was a forensic expert. I wanted to wipe everything I had to do with Bitcoin from the public record, he said. Billions are potentially riding on the outcome. The creator likely owns about $10 billion worth of Bitcoins at current prices, casting great sway over the market. Bitcoin SV, an offshoot coin that Wright supports, is valued at about $3.9 billion, according to CoinMarketCap.com. Here's where Wright's reputation to take a hit. This coin could take a hit as well. Wright said that he handed off a key piece of information to Kleiman before he died in 2013, making it hard to track down the digital wallets holding the Bitcoin. Wright said it's possible that he may never be able to access the coins, which is just fine by him. Quote, my wife and I consider it too much money, Wright said. I've got enough now, and we worry what that amount of money would do to the kids. Yeah, whatever. This case got started early last year when Kleiman's estate filed a complaint alleging that Wright stole hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin and intellectual property from when he and Kleiman worked together. Kleiman and Wright used to be business partners, according to the estate's lawsuit. After Kleiman's death in April of 2013, from MRSA, Wright allegedly forged a series of contracts to transfer assets and companies to himself, the lawsuit said. Wright has denied all allegations. A federal judge ordered Wright to submit documentation of his early Bitcoin holdings. Wright had previously said in filings that would be difficult, as his holdings are in a blind trust guarded by multiple trustees. Wright attended mediation in Florida in mid-June, but, quote, case did not settle, according to a court document. And read more. Wright sued over $5 billion worth of Bitcoin mined by colleague. This is just one of the legal cases Wright is involved in. Earlier this year, he sued or threatened to sue 3 people for libel because all 3 called him a fraud and said they didn't believe that he was Nakamoto. Fingers have pointed at many people as Nakamoto over the years, and Wright is just one. In late 2015, Wired magazine and Gizmodo reported that he and Kleiman may have invented Bitcoin. A few days later, Wired said Wright may be, quote, a brilliant hoaxer. Police raided Wright's home in Australia as part of a tax evasion investigation. He moved to Britain. Bitcoin holdings attributed to Nakamoto haven't moved in years, according to online ledgers. Critics have urged Wright to verify his identity by transferring some coins, a proposal he has refused. Yeah. Personally, I think that he can show us the addresses. He won't show us the addresses because it would indicate either A, that he was entirely fraudulent all along. You know, he just gathered a whole bunch of public addresses for coins that other people owned and just haven't moved since that period of time. Or that it really is Satoshi Nakamoto and, you know, we've got a runner here. But I like I said, I don't think he can actually prove that he is Satoshi Nakamoto, and I don't think that he is Satoshi Nakamoto, and I think in the longer term he's going to end up doing time. And I don't care what jurisdiction, somebody is going to hold him to account. And, it may be through the items that are revealed in these cases or something else. I don't know. The man is in all kinds of shit. You know, as that article had indicated, he's not just in court for one thing right now. So, yeah, it's not a good sign for him. Let's get rid of that thing there. Anyway, I wanted to shift gears here because I don't know. I thought this one was funny, and it's kind of along what we're talking about. It has to do with Bitcoin. And so this is on CoinDesk.com. JP Morgan CEO Diamond says that crypto companies, quote, want to eat our lunch. Yeah, duh. This is by Daniel Kuhn, authored June 28th, 2019 at 1500 UTC. So yes, penis. JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon indicated in a recent interview with Yahoo Finance that he had not spoken with Facebook about the development of the Libra. Quote, but it is very possible someone in the company did, Dimon said. Blockchain is real, he said, citing his company's foray into the space with JPM Coin blockchain, and I think competition is real. For Diamond, cryptocurrencies bring disruption to the banking industry because they provide similar services that banks traditionally provided, like money transmission, clearinghouse activity, and real-time payments, though he adds, quote, it's not an existential threat. No, your reputation is, dude. Quote, we're going to have competitors, whether it's a cryptocurrency competitor or another fintech competitor. We're going to have competitors. I tell our people, don't guess. You know they're there. You know they're coming. You know they want to eat our lunch. Assume it. Damn Skippy. Whether it's a bank or a crypto service startup, Diamond said there are serious issues regarding the future of money. He believes some of these are caused by government, specifically in determining whether they will be subject to banking regulations, KYC, the Banking Secrecy Act, or anti-money laundering rules. Sympathetic to the crypto industry's desire to serve their clients, Diamond also said he'd, quote, want to be able to serve their clients too. Quote, I always look at these blockchain systems like we'd like to do some of it to ourselves. And you know what? That's really the key here. You know, they're perfectly willing. They're perfectly welcome in the cryptocurrency space. They're welcome to create their own coins, their own projects, and interact with us. But what they need to really start doing is lobbying to keep the shit completely deregulated. Because the fact of the matter is that there aren't any regulatory frameworks that suitably address cryptocurrencies, and more to the point, wherever you draw the regulatory line today, they are going to redesign shit to get around it tomorrow. So, rather than forcing it into the dark like all the other regulatory frameworks out there have done, just ask somebody who's actively involved and who lives within the state of New York. They're either A, being 100% compliant, which I doubt, or B, they're finding ways to circumvent your silly ass and just not bothering to indicate to anybody else that that's exactly what they're doing. And I commend them for that. Please keep your secrets. I'm not even going to ask you. I want you to just do it. Because these people have forced you to do it. If they had just backed the fuck off and let the shit happen, they'd be participating. They'd probably even be credibly participating on par with us. But they gave all that up by trying to regulate us out of existence. And all they've really done is turn the clear market that they had going in New York, and it was bustling there, and they forced it into the shadows. And so now they're losing out on taxation opportunities that would have been both tolerable and acceptable. I mean, people would look at it and say, okay, 1.9% tax on it, okay, whatever, I can deal with that. And New York would be just swimming in money to spend on social programs and shit like that. But no. It's making too many poor people rich, so we got to put our foot down on it and keep it from happening too quickly or benefiting too many people and kind of kicking us out of little sections of the market. We got to put our foot down. We got to lobby for regulation on this shit. And you got your bit license. I guarantee you there are some people in fucking Wall Street right now who're going, you know what? This is bullshit. We're going to move to a jurisdiction where we can involve ourselves in this, and we're not going to do this multinational bullshit. The U.S. is just too onerous and too unforgiving. The costs of compliance are way too high, and we could be making way more money somewhere else. That's already happened in cryptocurrencies, in many aspects of cryptocurrencies. And it's going to continue to happen. It's not like this shit's going to stop. It's not like people are going to ever stop wanting to get into it or create their own. I've been predicting for a while now that Alt Bloom 2.0 would come along. And I'm starting to smell a little bit of it now. But let me just warn you here. If you find a project, I don't give a fuck how legit their website looks. If they don't have at least a white paper and some software for you to download and participate in, forget about it. Just move along. Move along. There are other projects far more deserving of your money. And if they can't be troubled to make some commitments as far as what they're offering, what type of service is it, what type of product is it, do I want it in my portfolio? I found a website for a coin. I'm not even going to mention it because they didn't have a fucking white paper. But they had all kinds of proposed specs. Like 2-minute block time and 2 megabytes worth of block space per 2 minutes, which, it all sounds well and good. But if you don't have a fucking white paper, I don't give a fuck. I don't know what you're going to be dedicating the hashing power to. Are we going to be, running a criminal enterprise that I might not be ethically or morally aligned with? Well, then, no, I don't want to do that. Am I just providing you with some fucking hashing power for a supercomputer to crack codes for some illegal shit? No, I don't want to involve myself in that. But I want those statements made. I want to know what the fuck kind of project is this. If it sounds good and if it looks profitable, I might just mine it, or I might just trade it, or I might try and accept it as money and for goods and services that I'm providing. Yeah. Anyway, so that's very important. If you're planning on launching a cryptocurrency, have that shit in mind, man. Have it on cue cards. Be ready to answer those questions. Because otherwise, all of us fucking old crypto heads, we're going to take one look at your shit and say, yeah, I saw that in 2014, 2015. I think they tried it one time in 2016, but it got crashed in 2017. And we're just going to walk away. Be like, yeah, have a nice day. I got better places to dedicate my funds. I mean, look, the regulators might not be able to touch you, but if we, the market, are going to interact with you, we have expectations, and be fucking ready to meet them. Because if you're not, again, like I said, the money will go elsewhere. Anyway, we're going to get into this next one here, and this is another one off of Bloomberg, the second of 3 free articles. Crypto apps see zero growth as Bitcoin price triples this year. This is by Olga Karif, who's authored June 28, 2019 at 9:35 a.m. PDT. Crypto may not be as hot as you think. Despite Bitcoin tripling in price this quarter, consumers aren't any more interested in downloading the cryptocurrency applications on their phones and mobile devices than they were in the first half of 2018, when the digital asset market tanked, according to an app tracker, App Annie. Mobile phones are the only way for people to access the internet. I should say for some people to access the internet and interact with cryptocurrencies in much of the world. Okay. Even in the developed markets like the US, many people are using mobile apps to trade. App Annie looked at the apps downloaded from the Apple App Store and Google Play, where it was found that more than 6,500 in the finance category, with words such as cryptocurrency, blockchain, or Bitcoin in their description as of June 26th. In the first half of 2019, people downloaded 67 million crypto apps, compared with 65.8 million in the first 6 months of last year. The total number of apps is up 35% from January 2018, thanks to the debut of ones from the likes of Gemini Exchange. The apps are just one of many indicators that consumer enthusiasm may not be driving this year's rally, and that adoption of crypto may not be growing at the same breakneck pace. Google searches for the word Bitcoin were 5 times higher in December 2017 as well. Yeah. So that gives you a little bit of idea about utilization. How much are people actually using Bitcoin and apps associated with it. And I don't know if that's actually counting all of the other apps from other sources. I mean, because we could be just talking about Google's Play Store and Apple's App Store. There's plenty of other sources for software out there. And so the idea that just their indicators alone are enough to give us a full picture, I don't think so. But I got this other article here, and it's on Cointelegraph.com, and this one's by Anna Alexander, and it was authored, let's reload this thing, approximately 11 hours ago, but no penis. Coinbase releases key findings on crypto awareness and adoption in the U.S. Major American cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase released key findings about awareness and adoption trends related to digital currency in the United States in a blog post published on June 28th, and we're going to go and right-click on that. Coinbase's survey that spans the past year and 2,000 participants revealed that cryptocurrency awareness in the U.S. has continued growing with 58% of Americans having heard about Bitcoin. Of them, some expressed a desire to diversify their investment portfolios with digital currencies, were excited by crypto's idea of a worldwide currency, or liked the absence of high transfer fees. The top 10 states with the highest crypto ownership are California, New Jersey, Washington, New York, Colorado, Utah, Florida, Alaska, Nevada, and Massachusetts. States such as Delaware, Nevada, and Wyoming have a lower overall percentage of crypto owners, but a higher per capita ownership, meaning a small number of people hold a larger than average amount of crypto each. When asked about what drove them to purchase cryptocurrencies, respondents recalled the investment opportunity presented by crypto, interest in new technology, and ability to educate themselves about it among major reasons. One 30-year-old respondent said that, quote, "For people in my generation, it makes a lot of sense, more sense than stocks, bonds, inflated real estate, or other depreciating assets." As cryptocurrency adoption grows, regulators and policymakers worldwide have enacted legislation to address cryptocurrency and its underlying blockchain technology. Thus, as of June 2019, over 70% of U.S. states have reportedly enacted regulations pertaining to crypto or blockchain. This year, YouTube searches for Bitcoin reportedly reached their all-time high. Americans typed Bitcoin into Google more times last year than they searched for a range of headline-making phrases from royal wedding to election results, the report states. In late April, a survey published by Spencer Bogart of venture capital firm, Blockchain Capital, revealed that the vast majority of American citizens had heard of Bitcoin, regardless of age. The proportion of people who heard of Bitcoin increased from 77% in October of 2017 to 89% of April of 2019. Yep. Oh. My apologies there. It appears as though cryptocurrencies are expanding in social awareness, and what that will mean for us as far as like a bull run or anything like that, that remains to be seen. I mean, I think we will see some forward movement as we get closer and closer to December. But I think that there are some hurdles that need yet to be cleared. And until we do actually clear them, we're going to continue to experience them. That's pretty much all there is to it. Anyway, let's go ahead and throw back down into some music. And I've been wanting to play some Sixth. And let's see here. Oh, pasties. Maybe. Let's go with a little bit of Vivid off of Future in Whose Eyes here on Coin Metal. And that was Irreversible Mechanism with Simulacra. I keep clicking on that one, hoping it's gonna like break out into this really aggressive sounding shit, and it just never does. Anyway, pardon me there. Next one I got up here is it's off of Coinbase's blog, and I don't really like Coinbase because they charge way too high fees, but it's about their little poll that they did here. The United States of Crypto, celebrating Independence Day and ideals such as life, liberty, and the pursuit of economic freedom. This is authored June 28th by Coinbase. In the past year, crypto has continued to grow by awareness and enthusiasm in the United States as more people view the technology as a compelling new way to participate in the financial system. In the latest Coinbase report, we outline findings on the growth of interest in cryptocurrencies on the part of Americans on a state-by-state level. Key findings from Coinbase research. Number 1, currently 58% of Americans say they've heard of Bitcoin. Number 2, over the past year, more people searched on Google for Bitcoin than the royal wedding or election results. Number 3, to date, more than 70% of the United States have enacted legislation that addresses cryptocurrency or blockchain. Number 4, crypto is becoming an increasingly important aspect of local economies. The top 10 U.S. states for percentage of the population that owns crypto are California, New Jersey, Washington, New York, Colorado, Utah, Florida, Alaska, Nevada, and Massachusetts. If you want to get a sense of how interested America is in the topic, there aren't many better benchmarks than Kim Kardashian, whose social media dominance gives her an outsized slice of our collective consciousness. Since the beginning of this year, one of the rare ideas that grabbed even more of our attention is Bitcoin. On average, Google users have searched for Bitcoin more often than they sought out info on Kim K, and that number is only trending upwards. In late June, prices climbed. Google searches for Bitcoin surged to almost 3 times higher than searches for Kim Kardashian. And it's not just the reality TV star. Americans typed Bitcoin into Google more times last year than they searched for a range of headline-making phrases from royal wedding to election results. In other words, Bitcoin is going mainstream in America, even though Bitcoin is just a decade old, and its birthday was in January. It has captured the imagination and attention of Americans all over. Today, Coinbase is sharing a report on awareness and adoption trends related to crypto in America, such as which states have the highest rates of participation and where enthusiasm is the highest. The study includes original research conducted by YouGov for Coinbase in December of 2018, as well as research data derived from macro-level Coinbase user activity, which is reported in anonymized and aggregated form only. We look into the increasing number of states where legislatures have enacted proactive regulations around cryptocurrency and blockchain as a response to local demand and interest in the technology. Finally, we spoke to a range of current Coinbase customers, regular people of varying ages, careers, and locations across the country, to learn the who, where, why around interest in crypto. Increasing awareness. When given a list of cryptocurrencies to choose from, Coinbase research shows that 58% of Americans have heard of Bitcoin. People express a range of reasons for their participation, from a desire to add diversity to their investment portfolios or a deeply held belief in the transformative potential of a secure and decentralized currency. Quote, "The most appealing thing about crypto and Bitcoin to me is the idea of a worldwide currency, that it can cross borders without having to factor in exchange rates or high transfer fees for long delays," says Christopher, a 26-year-old small business owner in New Jersey. Apparently he has not used it on chain recently. Quote, "Say I want to move to another country someday. My cryptocurrency would automatically come with me. My whole journey is not a get-rich idea. I just really believe in crypto and want the technology to succeed." Me too, dude. Crypto from state to state. Across the country, 37% of Americans, without being prompted with a list of options, proactively named Bitcoin in response to a query about cryptocurrencies, but that number goes up substantially in certain states. In Wisconsin and Utah, 57% of people have unaided awareness of Bitcoin, with Colorado, Massachusetts, and Wyoming close behind. And even the fact that there are still places where awareness is low feels like an opportunity to some people currently involved in crypto. Quote, cryptocurrency is right alongside artificial intelligence and nanotechnology as cutting-edge tech that has the potential to transform the way we live, says Todd, a 49-year-old IT supervisor in North Virginia. Quote, and lots of regular people still have barely heard of it. The top 5 states with the highest percentage of crypto-owning populations are California, New Jersey, Washington, New York, and Colorado, according to Coinbase research. Interestingly enough, Alaska ranks 8th on the list for highest percentage of crypto owners, but it also comes in lowest in unaided brand awareness for Bitcoin at 18%. Some of the top states for crypto owners, California, New York, and Washington, also have the highest per capita holdings. That is to say, they have a large number of people who not only own crypto, but also have larger holdings. Interestingly, there's yet another category which includes states with a lower overall percentage of crypto holders, but a higher per capita ownership. That is, a smaller number of people who each hold a larger than average chunk of cryptocurrency. The states with the most of those people adjusted for population are Delaware, Nevada, and Wyoming. What's driving demand? For some people, the investment opportunity presented by cryptocurrency is a major driver for their interest. Quote, for people in my generation, I think it makes a lot more sense than stocks, bonds, inflated real estate, or other depreciating assets, says Harrison, a 30-year-old systems manager in Washington State. Quote, I have no plans to trade or sell right now. There are price points where I might sell some to pay off debt or pay off my condo, but the goal is to try to get actual economic freedom. Similarly, Todd notes that crypto opens up a new form of access to investments. Quote, a lot of the best opportunities in the stock market are only available to accredited investors, which is a tiny part of the American population, he says. Quote, cryptocurrency is available to everyone. Others are participating in crypto as a way of educating themselves. Brenda is a 30-year-old CPA who lives in Puerto Rico. She started practicing recently and notes that her field provides little training around crypto, and so she purchased some in an effort to understand it for her clients. Quote, I need to be able to explain this new technology, and the best way for me to understand it was to try it myself, she says. Damn Skippy. The opportunity to experience new technology as it is emerging is another key motivation. Quote, I'm just very interested in new technology, says Elena, 35, a graphic designer who lives in New York. Quote, I actually studied cryptography and computer science in college, so it was easy for me to understand. I'd love to find a job working in crypto or blockchain technology. According to a recent Coinbase study, 42% of the world's top 50 universities offer at least one course on crypto or blockchain, and students from a wide range of disciplines are increasingly interested in taking courses on the technology. A look at legislation. As interest increases, states are increasingly enacting legislation to address crypto and blockchain. As of June 2019, more than 70% of U.S. states have enacted some regulations that account for cryptocurrency or blockchain technology. In April, Ohio announced that it would accept tax payments in Bitcoin. Quote, "We're trying to do our small part to think creatively about how technology can make taxpayers' lives easier," said Josh Mandel, former Ohio State Treasurer and supporter of the effort, in an interview with NPR's Marketplace. Overstock.com, for one, took advantage of the opportunity, using Bitcoin to pay for around $35,000 in taxes. Quote, We're trying to do our small part to think." We read that part. Earlier this year, Wyoming passed a set of 13 laws that, among other things, disappeared Wyoming off of the map for many cryptocurrency users. Actually, that was my addendum. Recognizing crypto as money and allow banks to, quote, "provide custodial services for digital assets." With these regulations, the Mountain State hopes to become the legal home to banks that could offer asset management and other crypto services to customers nationwide. And since 2015, New York State's Financial Regulatory Agency has awarded 18 of what it calls bit licenses to virtual currency companies that want to broker Wall Street-style trades or other deals on clients' behalf. And I might add that's also restricted a lot of participation in the cryptocurrency space in New York. And I would say has also secured the businesses of some of the worst participants, customer service-wise or customer experience-wise, in this space, Coinbase being among them. How interested are Americans in buying crypto? According to Coinbase research, upwards of 15% Americans are somewhat or very likely to buy Bitcoin or some other cryptocurrency in the near future. The number gets even higher with big league investors. The asset management giant Fidelity Investments announced in May that 22% of its institutional investors already own digital assets, that almost half would consider adding crypto to their portfolios. I might add that Fidelity Investments is also invested in mining directly. Good move on their part, I might say. As for the growth in awareness, that seems poised to continue. YouTube searches for Bitcoin reached their all-time high this year. New Jersey customer Christopher explains how he pulled clips from YouTube to create a PowerPoint presentation that he used to explain Bitcoin to his baby boomer father. Quote, "I grabbed some video, grabbed some pictures, and broke it down in a way that he could understand," he says. Now he has his own personal crypto, and whenever his coins goes up, he'll send me a screenshot. That's something we really bond over. That's something that's really interesting about cryptocurrencies, is that once people do get it and do get involved in it, that it does, the customer service, or at least the user participation experience, is pretty universal throughout each age group. And as far as how people regard them, that also similarly expands across the age groups. It's not restricted to one subsect or generation or something like that. And I think that experience will continue to span across even more generations as time goes on. Let's go ahead and throw back down into a little bit of music. And you know, I've been avoiding them so far, but I definitely want to play a little bit of Clutch. So, let's see if I can find it. Here it is. Escape from the Prison Planet. Here on Coin Metal. And that was Overkill with Last Man Standing. And got just enough time to squeak this last one in here. And I caught this one while I was, playing music as usual. But let's go for it. This is on newsbtc.com. Fears regarding global economy may have sparked this Bitcoin rally, but will it continue to fuel it? And this is by Cole Peterson So yes, penis. Bitcoin has been incurring significant volatility over the past few days, which is, in many ways, emblematic of the improving market conditions as BTC surged from year-to-date lows of below 4,000 to recent highs of nearly 14,000. Now, analysts are noting that the Fed's recent dovish stance regarding the economy is what sparked the latest crypto rally, but the question now is whether or not Bitcoin's status as a, quote, safe haven asset will be enough to continue propelling it higher. At the time of writing, Bitcoin is trading up nearly 7% at its current price of $11,950 and is up significantly from its 24-hour lows of $10,500 that were set yesterday. After rapidly surging to highs of $13,800 earlier this week, Bitcoin incurred a massive influx of selling pressure that sent it reeling lower and acted as a slap in the face to bulls who were basking in the glory of the cryptocurrency upward swing. Despite this, the cryptocurrency has since posted a strong recovery from its lows of 10,500 and is now close to breaking back into the 1200 region or 12,000 region again. Although what causes Bitcoin's massive price movements always remains somewhat of a mystery, analysts are noting that this latest rally may have been sparked by the Fed's dovish stance towards the economy, which may have led many investors to turn to Bitcoin. Quote, "It recently started to rally hard when the Fed started pivoting towards dovishness, so that means the three central banks are all pretty dovish. I think that's why people are going into Bitcoin," Jim Lurio, a longtime trader and the managing director at TJM Institutional Services, said while speaking to CNBC. Although the Fed's stance towards the economy can largely be defined as dovish presently, it is unclear whether or not concerns regarding potential economic problems down the road will be enough to push Bitcoin higher. Despite this, analysts also believe that the technical strength of Bitcoin incurred as a result of this move to 10,000 may be enough to lead BTC significantly higher. Quote, "The size and speed of the rally was unsustainable, and the size and speed of the correction was even worse. But what something like that just does is shake out the weak hands. This is a healthy movement. I think that Bitcoin could easily gather itself back above the $10,000 level and resume what it was doing before," Lurio further explained. As the weekend comes to an end and the weekend trading session kicks off, it is highly likely that Bitcoin will continue higher as the bulls ramp up the buying pressure and continue its upward momentum. Quite possibly. I think that it'll continue to run into the very real barrier of the transaction fees, which continue to rise in the background of all the din of what's going on the price action on the market. You know, that people are simply wanting to move funds, straight over to regular wallets, either regular wallets or even long-term cold storage wallets. And in the meantime, they're having to pay $5-6 for transaction fees. And note, again, we predicted this would happen. As it goes up 1,000, the fees go up again. And we will continue to see this. It's not going to go away. It's going to be a wall that we're going to continue to run into. Oh well, we'll see where we're at on Monday. And so it is with that I'd like to close out this episode. Thank you very much for listening. Like I said, we will be back again on Monday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And so until then, I want you all to trade safe. Do your homework. And watch out for your own bunghole, because nobody else is going to do it for you. And as far as our last dance is concerned, I've been dying to play this one all night, and so here it is. Killing Joke, Loose Cannon. here on Coin Metal. Thank you again for listening, and you all have an excellent weekend. Good night.